We had 5 people, Bob.
Oh, wow.
I know, wow.
Okay, are we ready?
I believe so, yes. I just want to check one thing if you don't give me a second,
Yep,
please.
go ahead.
Yep, we're good. Oops.
All right. I will now call to order the regular meeting of the Frupa Area Recreation and Park District at 6:30. Ms. Rivas, can you lead some pledge of allegiance?
Yes. Everybody, put your hand on your heart. Ready? Go. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank
you.
Can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, Division 1, Kim Gerald Johnson. Here. Division 2, Jose Luis Godinez.
Present.
Division 3, Tammy Rivas. Here. Division 4, Edgar Castellan.
Present.
Division 5, Ross Leisha.
Here.
Any presentations or recognitions tonight?
None this evening, Mr. President.
Okay. Any public comments? Does anyone wish to pull anything from the consent calendar?
I move approval of the consent calendar.
Second.
I need to do a roll call since there was a resolution involved.
Okay. Go ahead.
So the first is Kim, the second is Ross, and roll call. Kim Johnson. Aye. Edgar Castellan.
Yes.
Ross Leisha.
Yes.
Jose Luis Godinez.
Yes.
Tammy Rivas. Yes. Motion passes 5-0.
Moving on to board action items, item 5.1, second reading and adoption of ordinance number 02-2025 of the Board of Directors of the Frupa Area and Park District for annexation number 45 to its Community Facilities District number 2016-1. Mr. DeWitt, please.
Thank you. Yes, as you just stated, this is the second reading of the ordinance for the annexation into CFD 2016-1. For the board's reference, this is the new project on the east side of Clay Street there, just north of the Gold Star Hamburger for your reference. And this will complete the process for the annexation. Serrano Oaks.
I move that the Board of Directors adopt the submitted ordinance number 02-2025 for annexation number 45 to CFD number 2016-1.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
I'm sorry, it's a roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's the last one tonight. Kim Gerald Johnson. Aye. Edgar Castellan.
Yes.
Ross Leisha.
Yes.
Jose Luis Godinez.
Yes.
Tammy Rivas. Yes. Motion passes 5-0.
Moving on to item 5.2, approval of agreement for transfer of Discovery Center from Harupa Mountains Cultural Center to Harupa Area Recreation and Park District. Mr. DeWitt, please.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here tonight. I'm excited to get to this point. This has been a long process for the district, for the Discovery Center, for the staff. I want to thank our team here at the district, Loretta, Cody, our maintenance department, human resources, everybody has done a lot of due diligence to get us to this point. JMDC, the staff there, Wes, Andre, Mirna's here, Jenny is. I'm sorry. Maribel, I apologize, Maribel. Hopefully some people are online as well, watching this. This has been a long process. We started this back in September. The board had a lot of questions. We did a lot of research on our end to get us to this point. I think the one thing I just want to really stress is from day one, the commitment of the board, recognizing the value of Harupa Mountains Discovery Center to the community, the commitment to maintaining what it provides to the community, a focus on education and the cultural aspect, keeping it intact as what it is. We feel it is a great addition, could be a great partnership with the district. Frankly, it's right up our alley. The growth that we'll be able to, we foresee is going to allow the facility to thrive for generations to come. We've gone through the finances in a fine-tooth comb. Cody has done a great job of putting together some draft budget stuff we'll be looking at later this evening. We are recognizing that there is an operational deficit within the facility right now. We do believe with the proper support and some site cleanups and improvements that we can get the operations of the facility self-supportive in 18 to 24 months. We do recognize ongoing facility improvements. The board has a commitment to really help establish a vision, long-term vision for the facility that will be the guiding light as to how improvements in the future come. I want to make it clear, at no point has the district discussed a maintenance assessment increase, a bond measure, anything along those lines to fund the operations of the Discovery Center, nor is it going to take away from any current park maintenance that is taking place, any current park improvements that are planned. We plan to look at all grant opportunities for every facility across the board, and we will look at what facilities are the best candidates and allow us to have the best chance for being awarded grants going forward. With that, the board of the Hrupa Mountains Cultural Center met this evening at 5 o'clock, and with the vote of 8-2, I believe was the final count, voted in favor of approving the agreement. And the same vote approved their resolution, which essentially authorizes their executive director to sign the agreement on their behalf. With two caveats that we were comfortable with accepting. One is just clarifying that the property could not be sold, or any portion of the property could not be sold. We felt that it's already stated well in the agreement, but if they want to add another clause to it, there was no objection to that. And the other thing, which we've already talked about, they wanted in writing, is that their current employees' longevity will be taken into consideration when it comes to accrual vacation, things along those lines. So with those two caveats, that's what we'll be just looking to approve this evening. With that, I would be available for any questions you may have. And I would like to know, as you're aware, there are members from the board of directors and staff from the Hrupa Mountains Discovery Center here. And I don't know if anyone wants to make any public comments or anything either, so.
Is it now time?
We'll entertain public comments.
I've got three quickies. First off, as a member of the board of directors, I want to express my appreciation to you all for your patience and your understanding and your assistance in drawing up what I think is going to be a wonderful agreement, a wonderful partnership between our two organizations. And I'm looking forward to the day years from now when I can walk into JNBC and say, okay, this is what I want to see it be. From Steve, our board president, he asked me to express his personal appreciation for you all and your patience in going through the process that we needed to go through to get to this point and get this document signed. And from my point of view, personal point of view, boy, thank you guys a lot. It has been a struggle. I think a few of you got to see the major reasons why there was a bit of a struggle on our side, but every vote seemed to come out 8-2, 8-2, 8-2.
So I'm happy to be here once again and looking forward to us all having a wonderful experience together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Me too.
All right. Any other public comments? No? Okay. Any questions or comments from the board?
So from here, what are the next steps?
There's a lot of steps. It's not a done deal. Well, in the aspect, yes, there's agreement in place. We will have to get a revised agreement that Mr. Owen is already aware of. He's gonna work with their attorney to finalize the language so we can get those signed. There'll still be an agenda item at our June 8th meeting, having to do with the transfer of property and stuff along those lines. The Hooper Mountains Discovery Center, they need to notify the state attorney general. They have 20 days, needs 20-day notice for the transfer of ownership. Within the agreement, there's a number of things that needs to happen, such as we've already got some spreadsheets prepared, Cody's been working on, to work on the transfer of all assets. Also the transfer of all utilities, things along those lines. Bob, what am I missing here? I'm sure you've got more than to add that I'm kind of drawing a blank on right now.
Well, no, I think those are the major things. We need to get the agreement finished and executed and then begin implementing it. Loretta is going to go through the finances with their employees and make sure that she has a thorough understanding of where everything is at. And then your improvement plans is what you can start looking at next.
So the next aspect of it, we'll start preparing all the letters of offers. We're working with staff already, a list of employees, all their contact information, so we can start preparing those. We have to do the live scan, the background check on all employees. Once that happens and is completed, then we start the background checks. The goal is to have those completed by early second week or so of June. So we can start the complete onboarding process, looking for a start date right around the 29th of June. That's just the start of our pay period. First pay period within the next fiscal year, the way that it works out.
And at some early point, the board needs to appoint an advisory committee.
Right. So, and we will also bring back an amendment to our bylaws to create the subcommittee of the board. And then, formalize how that needs to be set up within that. So.
By subcommittee, you mean the advisory committee?
Advisory committee, subcommittee, but we should list it within our bylaws, correct? How exactly that is set up is still yet to be determined. But we have some rough guidelines that we've agreed to, but it will be subject to the Brown Act still.
And yes, we are anticipating a strictly advisory committee.
I have a question. What
Yes.
happens to the original board of directors?
That has yet to be officially determined if they will go through a complete dissolution or not. I think they're leaning that way at this point, but I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we're leaning that way, but it's still to be decided exactly what we'll do.
They have to, per their bylaws, they've already called a general membership meeting, which is set for Wednesday, June the 4th. Correct. That their general membership has to vote on those types of the dissolution, all that.
Any other questions, comments?
One last thing, if I may. Our executive director, Wes Andre, is here, and he has brought a copy of the agreement. And Wes, I'd like to call you up and sign it, if we all think that's appropriate.
Because there's some amendments that need to be made to it, it's ceremonial, we appreciate that. Yeah,
Okay.
understood, yes.
It's you want to sign ceremonial or?
We can do that at the end if you want. We have to still approve everything, so.
Wes probably went through more stress with this situation and Maribel and Ginny than is imaginable, so,
Walk of the park.
So, just a reminder, if you do have a comment, please sign a paper
Just so we can make sure.
I will just refrain and make it for
Our decor.
my apologies.
I will move that the Board of Directors approve and authorize the general manager to execute the agreement for transfer of Discovery Center from Harupa Mountains Cultural Center to Harupa Area Recreation and Park District substantially in the form and substance submitted with the upcoming amendments.
Second.
All right. All in, yes.
I would still like to be able to make comments though.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I don't know if the rest of you want to make comments. I have comments. I would like to agree with the gentleman from the Harupa Mountains Discovery Center that this has been a somewhat unpleasant process, made more unpleasant by things over which we had no control and they had no control, or at least the majority of their board had no control. However, that being said, I want to make it very clear and assure our constituents that this board and our staff have spent 8 months doing the research, looking at budgets, meeting with pertinent people, and just doing our due diligence. This is not something that our staff has done without board input. It has been a collaboration between us and our staff to make this happen. And I would not want anyone in the public to think that we're doing this without proper due diligence, because we are being very, very careful about making sure that we can take this on and make a success of it. I feel confident that we can make the Harupa Mountains Discovery Center operationally whole and within, as Mr. DeWitt said, within 18 months to 2 years. Capital improvements will be on top of that. I would not want to be anything but transparent about that. But then, you know, we always have to do capital improvements in our parks that are not covered by any costs or any money that we receive otherwise. I feel that I speak for my fellow board members when I say that we're going into this with the best of intentions, because we believe in what the Harupa Mountains Discovery Center does and its value to the community. And I'm excited that the nonsense and falderall hopefully is over and that we can move on and polish up what is already a crown jewel in the greater Harupa Valley area and make it available for our constituents to enjoy for many years to come.
Well said, yes.
I would just like to add a comment, really quick, more along the line of pathos. Yesterday was my niece's 18th birthday. One of my nieces, I have many. But when she was 2, she came to see me run cross country at the Cultural Center. So if you do the math, that's about fall 2009. And she still remembers it as the place with the dinosaurs where I saw my uncle run. So yeah, it's just, I'm really excited to be here. Trying not to get emotional because it was a long process and that place is really special to myself. I know it's special to a lot of people as well. So I'm glad we're at this point and we can move on, move forward, and hold our head up high that we did the right thing and the future is bright for us. So thank you all. And with that, I will entertain a vote. So all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Welcome to the family.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
Good to be here.
All right. Item 5.3, discussion and possible approval of the reimbursement request number 4 from Lennar Homes of California for the Riverbend community. Mr.
Yes, Riverbend Park is part of the Riverbend community that was developed as part of a construction acquisition agreement with Lennar Communities of California. And this is the final reimbursement agreement. Is a joint JCFA with the Parks District and the Corona Upper Unified School District. And it's about $82,000, which is the final funds left in that account. And this just authorizes the release of those funds to Lennar.
Okay, any questions for
You
Mr.
can just clarify, these funds are not held by the district, they're held in trust through the school district.
The only question I have is this the final?
This is the final, this is the last few cents left in the account.
Excuse me, what happens after this is reversed? That's it? Closed deal, then.
It's already been, yeah, the deal's already been closed, recorded. This is just as they've closed out their entire project. This is the last of their eligible expenses they can apply for reimbursement for.
Any other questions from the board? Entertain motion.
I move the Board of Directors to authorize reimbursement request number 4 from Lenore Homes of California for $82,600 and authorize the general manager to sign all necessary documents.
I second. Oh, go ahead.
I second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Moving on to item 5.4, application for turf reduction grant for Clay Park and the Harupa Community Center. Mr. Clegg.
Thank you. As fiscal year is ending here and the start of the next fiscal year, the Metropolitan Water District still has some funds left in their turf reduction program. We'd like to hopefully apply for and get in allocations set up for the district. The project's currently going on at Vernola Family Park. It's looking great. It's costing the district $4 per square foot for the removal of turf, installation of the drip irrigation system, the required swells, rock gardens, mulch to meet the requirements, and the plant material. And we get a reimbursement at $3 per square foot. This is something we've looked at doing anywhere we can. This is something that truly is going to be, already is mandated, not quite enforced per se yet, but it's coming down the pipe. The best way to, the best definition I've heard of, if the only reason you step on that grass is to mow it, it needs to be removed. And these are things we're looking at. We'd like to put 2 applications in, one for the Harupa Community Center around the skate park. So as part of the renovation there, you're all aware there's a new walkway that'll be installed from the new parking lot along Pedley up to the current walkway that encompasses the skate park. So from that new walkway south to the school district property line, all the way back up to the existing parking lot, and then back to the existing walkway from the old parking lot to the skate park. It's about 10,000 square feet, give or take, of turf that would be moved to drought tolerant plant material. And then the other application would be for Clay Park. Clay Park, as you're aware, is basically square. And the sidewalk meanders in and out of the park, and it's the scallops that are created between the curb and the sidewalk within the park that we'd like to remove and go to the drought tolerant plant material. So this would authorize us to submit the grants for those projects.
I just happened to have been at Clay Park today. Clay Park, yeah, we only have a couple of parks that are really like Clay Park in that you have streets on 4 sides and houses across the street, but not houses on the same side as the park. And so I was there today with Leon, of course, and there's a lot of shade along the street on the 4 sides of the park, and people park there. So like today, there was an Amazon driver there that had parked his vehicle and was using the restroom and using the shade to have his lunch, and lots of people that park around that park to take advantage of shade and stuff. So my only concern is that they're getting out and walking across grass right now. We start putting in mulch and rock
We're
and,
gonna put walkways in.
okay, so that there's more, okay,
Correct. Yeah, we've already recognized that as well.
okay.
So my only concern is that we don't just focus on drought tolerant plants, but also native plants.
Correct.
Or drought tolerant.
There are a required plant palette we have to choose from that are all California native drought tolerant plant material.
And then just to make sure this covers hardscape as well.
It does not cover hardscape. It has to be, I wish it would cover hardscape, or I wish it would cover walking trails or something like that. It doesn't allow for anything like that. It doesn't even allow for artificial turf to be installed. It has to be a combination of DG or mulch, and then either bioswales, rock gardens, things along those lines.
Any other questions, comments? Yeah, all right, I'll entertain a motion.
Move the board of directors authorize the grant application for the turf reduction project for Clay Park and the Harupa Community Center.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. All right, moving on to item 5.5, fiscal year 2025-2026 budget workshop.
Do you have copies of the board?
Told them they were in the packets. Did we not put them?
No, not in the packet.
Oh, that was on me. Okay,
Oh.
you can start.
We're gonna start. Cody's gonna run copies for you guys real quick.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
start. I'll go get them.
So we have I just realized that I apologize. Should have paid attention. This is the part of our budget workshop. The Budget Personnel Committee reviewed these documents, yesterday. We have before you, in addition to this, a proposal regarding the operating budget for the Rupert Mountains Discovery Center as well. The Discovery Center, in working with our accountants, will be treated as a standalone budget, as we talked about, to be its own complete fund as well. As you're well, we have a number of different funds. This will be Fund 600, just for your reference. The proposal includes the addition of one additional maintenance personnel. It includes the reclassification of a recreation supervisor to recreation manager. And it includes a recreation coordinator as well, in addition to the existing positions associated with Rupert Mountains Discovery Center. Other than that, we are maintaining our deferred maintenance account that we created this year of $200,000. The number of projects we've worked on this year, we'll be continuing that for the foreseeable future. Couple other things, we're trying to steal too much of Cody's thunder here. As you're all aware, we were quite shocked with the cost of the election this year. We were budgeting around $25,000, give or take, per open seat. And it came in at about 44,000, something in that range, depending upon the division. It has to do with all three of the positions being a contested election, something the district had never had in the past. Multiple people on most of the ballots, I believe. This is also the first full election that we've had since the redistricting that was completed back in 2021. So we have, at the recommendation of the board, we are looking at $55,000 a year in the board election account. So we can, it's not a big hit, $110,000 or $155,000 on opposite years, or every other year essentially. So we can start setting aside for those. So it's not a big hit. The assumption is we're going to see multiple people in every election coming forward. And if we don't see that, we'll have the opportunity, once some money is set aside, that we can reduce that transfer if we need to. We can use them other places. But this is just so we don't have a big hit at any given one time. It also includes a acquisition of a new vehicle. Basically, we're looking at the replacement of one vehicle a year going forward. Right now, they're running us just in the $45,000 range. Instead of setting money aside for each vehicle, it's just gonna be, about a 10-year lifespan on all of our vehicles. So we're gonna be replacing one going forward every year. With the acquisition of the Discovery Center, we are at a balanced budget. We did not take away anything from our operating budget. Our CFD numbers, CFD combined, is putting about $1 million.
2.15 million or so.
5 million into reserves still, with the associated reserves there. This also accounts for the already agreed upon cost of living adjustment for all employees. Last year, the board agreed to a max of 3.5% or COLA, whichever is lower. COLA has come in this year at 3.42%. So that'll be accounted for, and it'll be something coming forward as part of our budget adoption and salary schedule as well. And those funds are already in there as well. Anything else you want to add, Cody, while we're waiting for this? And I do apologize for not.
You stole everything I was gonna say. I know we're just trying to kill time, so you guys have it in front of
You
you.
want to talk about ClearGov?
Yes, so one thing that we did get for upcoming year, I don't have it this year because it's a new software we're just now using, is ClearGov. This is going to be our budgeting software moving forward. So once this current budget is adopted, I'll be able to submit everything through our accounting software and then download that, put it into ClearGov, and it will create us an entire digital budget book So it will be able to customize it to however we kind of like it. So I could do breakdown customization of if we want to see what each department brings percentage wise in, how much each CFD brings in percentage wise to CFD revenue, which areas are spending so much money. We could go based off just certain facilities and have a full breakdown of everything without having to sit here and go through line by line down our accounting software trying to get the data for you. I could literally just make a chart and be like, I need this location, and it'll give me all revenues, all expenditures for it. We could do charts with it, pie graphs, a bunch of different options to do that just makes it a lot cleaner and easier to understand than just me saying, here's some numbers. Hopefully you can understand it. And then moving forward after this one is submitted, we will do all of our budgeting through that. There will be no more Excel sheets. The also great part about this is it cleans up any human error side of things. So something as simple as I accidentally unlinked a cell and that never links back over, and I changed it on one end, but it didn't change on the front end. That now shows that it was never really happened. Essentially, ClearGov, that is not possible because as soon as I save it in, no matter where it's linked to, it links throughout everything. And it also just makes everything easier. Even something as simple as we know utilities go up about 5% every year. I could just type in that GL code for utilities, 5%, every single one goes up 5%. I don't have to sit there and manually do math on every single line now and add it up. I could just put it in and good to go. And then also we have a personnel budgeting side on this one as well. So we could now do scenarios of adding positions, having vacancies, when we're doing the COLI and everything like that. If we're looking at COLI is going to be, okay, we're projecting to be 3.25 this year. I can plug in 3.25 and it'll give me the number right then and there on what that COLI will do across the board as a whole on the salaries. So that's what we'll be moving forward to. I won't have it for you this fiscal year until after we adopt the budget and everything like that, but I will get it to you guys once we have one, and we'll look over it and just see if it's a good format for everyone for future budgets moving forward as well. So we could tweak it as we go throughout the year.
So the format you're seeing it in now is from an Excel spreadsheet. Once it's approved, all the numbers will finalize in our accounting system to be downloaded into the ClearGov system for the basis of the reports. And this is something that we're going to be working with the board on. If there's specific reports you would like to see on a regular basis, you want to see a report on the soccer park, or you're going to want to see a report on the Discovery Center. Those are things that can be easily run. If you want to, hey, what does water cost us? How much have we spent for water across the district? We can just with the touch of a button essentially run water across the board and see where we're at. So it's going to be great when it comes to budgeting. Again, being more transparent for the public to the board as well is what we're trying to do here. Again, the long run, this makes it a lot easier on staff.
Yeah.
This is literally like a 70-page Excel spreadsheet.
Something like that, yeah. I mean, the digital budget book probably will be pretty meaty depending on what we want to put in there. I mean, we could put as much or as little as we want in it, just depends on what we all agree upon. So we'll play around with it and I'll see exactly all the capabilities I could do with it, but it's going to make it a lot easier to understand and see things from that level now, instead of like, okay, well, this was 500,000, this was 237,000. Okay, how much percentage is that? We could just see it right there on the spot now. And it'll give us full breakdowns and everything. And it makes it a lot easier to even do such things. Any questions on the ClearGov?
It'll also help us break down how much is contributed to a CFD.
Yes. So I could run something simple as for the CFD budget and put it in like a pie chart, and it'll be like 8%. So, say it's like $75,000 here, 25% here, 13%. It will give the exact breakdown, and we'll have a chart next to it that tells you how much each percentage is even. So we'll show you both percentage wise and a numerical amount. Any other questions on ClearGov?
I just had to say that at the budget committee meeting, we were able to see a small sample of what it would look like, and it's going to be very clean.
Yeah, I showed them some charts, nothing too fancy, just some stuff we're working on, but essentially that's going to be what we could implement into the budget moving forward now.
I can see going forward, well, there'll probably be some adjustments that the directors will want to make, from the sample that was shown to us, but I don't think it'll be an issue really.
Yeah, and we could customize it to whatever level you guys want, in all honesty. There's not very many limitations on that software when it comes to what exactly we want. So it's pretty darn good. All right. We'll go over the general fund budget first. So as you can see from that bottom line number, we are in the black at $228,000. So pretty darn good. Almost $250,000 in the black, and this is including, as Colby said, there's a $200,000 deferred maintenance in here as well. And one big caveat I want to say about this number we're expecting to, knock on wood, go up because we're currently working with Corona Norco with the Spark program. That program might be going to anywhere from 150 to 200 students. We're currently operating, is it about 112? I want to say
Something right in that ballpark.
about one, we'll call it 110. That currently brings in a little over $300,000 in revenue right now. We are prices going up from $14 per student per day to $15. So that is already going to bring in a little bit more revenue. They made a difference of about $20,000 between last year and this year. But if we go to 150, even at 150 kids, we're looking at about $500,000 in revenue coming from Spark, potentially almost doubling our revenue we had this year if it goes up to the 200 kids. We are just waiting for Corona Norco to finalize everything, make sure they have the room, and make sure that they get the approved grants that they apply for everything. So that is the one caveat that we might have to do a mid-year budget adjustment because potentially we could get an extra $300,000 from just Spark alone. All right. So we will start with revenues. We do have all of our tax dollar numbers in from Lynn now. So all that's been updated. There will be no changes on any of the tax side of things. We are good to go. Our original estimates were pretty good. CFDs all went up a good amount. I think almost all of them are 3.42, except for there's one that has the.
There's a couple of this, just as a reminder for everybody, there's a couple of the CFDs. Most of them have a CPI or 4%, whichever is greater. There are a couple of the CFDs that have a 2% or CPI. 2% max. So those are the ones, CFD 2004-1, Sunset Ridge, which is 7-1? 5-2, sorry. So those are the ones that are getting, when we get to those budgets, they're getting tight because of that. So we are looking at what we can do to help control our costs in those. The budget committee had a lot of questions on those. But we are mindful of that.
Yeah. And I guess one of the biggest highlights with the CFD with the CPI going up and everything like that with the tax revenue, the transfer we get from the CFD to the general fund side actually went up $50,000 on their share of what the tax revenue went up. So that's how much it went up as a whole on the CFD side. So it went up about $500,000 extra in revenue this year in tax revenue just on the CFD side alone. As far as all the other revenue, recreation revenue, we're doing pretty good. Everything's staying about the same. We're hoping to grow a couple other things with Spark being one of the biggest ones. Contract classes we think are going to really start growing a lot too here coming soon. We have a lot more contract classes coming into play. The last couple of months they've done exceptionally well. So we're hoping that continues into the summer. So we're doing great there. There's no other issues with any of the rec revenue. The only big change that we have moving forward is no more talk time, which was a slight hit, but with how much Spark grew this year, it canceled it out plus some. So it wasn't an issue whatsoever. On the maintenance side of the revenue, it's just our normal district-wide contributions from the tax. So we have no control over that really, but that has gone up with the taxes as well. All right, on to our expenses. So on the board side, the only big thing is like what he talked about. The election was a lot more expensive this year than we thought it was going to be. It ended up being $133,000. So we're proposing the $50,000 or $55,000 a year put aside just so we have that money. So say they do raise the prices again, it's not a huge hit on us. We're projecting $135,000 and they hit us with a $160,000 bill next time we have elections. Outside of that, the board, your guys' expenses doesn't really change. On the administration side, the only thing, nothing actually has changed because we did the mid-year adjustment. We have our grant writer in there. We will possibly have to do a mid-year budget adjustment on our printing/design services. We are currently bidding out for our activity guide. Our contract ended, so we had to rebid it with the whole tariffs and everything like that. We don't know what prices are going to look like for the printing. The bid was posted. I posted it yesterday, so I'm supposed to get those bids in by the end of this month. And once that happens, I'll bring you guys forward the bids and we can move from there. We did up it from $60,000 to $70,000, expecting the tariffs to affect it a little bit, but I wish I could give you a better answer. So just giving you guys the heads up on that one.
Paper fluctuates like the price of oil.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that as much. So we're intrigued as to what we asked for a year's worth of printing, the 3 brochures. We're intrigued to if the printers will bid 3 or just one at a time.
Yeah.
So
So
it's gonna be intriguing. It's gonna be
we'll
interesting.
see. I will have more information once bids start coming in for you guys on that. That's like one of the only things that has a caveat to it. And then one thing we did remove, I forgot to mention on the revenue side, but it's actually a good thing that does happen this year is Paradise Knolls, the admin consultant fee. We've had it in our budget for 2 years and Paradise Knolls has been delayed and delayed and delayed. So we're not going to count the revenue or the expense on that in our budget because we don't want to, I want to say it's like almost $250,000 in profit, quote unquote, we would get. We don't want to keep having that in our budget and it not hit. So we're holding off on putting in that. And so if that hits this year, we'd actually get another almost $250,000 in the black. with that.
Well,
After net, I'm gonna say the revenue is like, I think about $500,000 and the expense is about $250,000. So it'd be about $250,000 in net gain for us. But we don't know if it's gonna hit until Paradise Knolls figures their stuff out. So that's just not gonna be in the budget. If we get it, awesome. If we don't get it this year, it'll be next year, hopefully. All right. Any questions on any of that administration expenses?
With the Spark program growing, we have staff to cover.
We will have to hire staff, so that will be one thing is with that part-time salaries will have to go up because we need, is it 1 staff per every 14 kids?
so with that, that'll be part of a mid-year budget adjustment that'll come back to you. Our biggest concern in communicating with the school district is we want to support this, but we need notice.
Mhm.
School starts mid-August. We need to know really by the end of school year, because we have to start the recruitment and hiring process. That's another, what we talking about, there's 6 staff?
6 to 7 staff,
Yeah.
depending on if they go to up to 200, which isn't unreasonable, but we would need 6 to 7 staff per day there if it is 200 kids.
And the other contributing factor is if they have the space for us on.
Yes, then you'd have the classroom space to be able to protect that many kids. That's why I think they've done the 150 to 200. I know that seems like a big gap, but I think classroom space is the biggest issue right now. I know they have some,
There's some new portables coming out.
they have some there right now that they've been moving in, so we'll have more information with that. We don't want to count our chickens before they hatch with that, so I'm not gonna put it in the budget at this point, just because we don't know for sure that's gonna happen until they get back to us on answers, unfortunately. And it's the only thing that would happen to us, it would be a good thing if they got it, and it would just be more revenue for us. All right, any other questions for any of the recreation admin expenses up to this point? All right, on to recreation expenses. One thing that we did add this year is JCC now is itemized. Now that JCC is gonna have staff there full time, it's gonna be a very great facility similar to how Skyview's ran. So we have now separated all their utilities and stuff that similar to what EDS and Skyview have. It's just itemized as JCC as well. So JCC will have all of its own expenses. So we could run reports just to show what JCC's expenses were for things. Outside of that, nothing really has changed on the rec side. I think all of our equipment has already been ordered for JCC, so that mid-year budget adjustment that we did last year, that came back down to the reasonable normal number that we have. No, what do we have? Was it 85? Yeah, it was like 85,000 or something like that. So that is no longer in the budget because it's not needed. So it's back at the normal level. The only thing that might possibly change is security guard services. We are going to work on getting a bid for new security services that will be at all the facilities, including the sports park and for our special events moving forward, which should only really be 3rd of July. So that won't take an effect till after 3rd of July because we already have all of our current plans in place for that. But it's time to get a new bid for that. So we'll be putting that out here soon.
One last thing I just want to kind of talk about with special events here. Zena reminded me today, this is the last year on our current bid for our fireworks show provider. And I'm hearing from other agencies. They're going through the roof.
Yeah.
No fireworks provider will do a multi-year contract anymore. And it's just something we're gonna have to be mindful of and how this is going to impact us going forward.
What, because most fireworks come from China?
that's one of the contributing factors. The other thing is there is that's a diminishing profession apparently. A pyrotechnician is a premium service anymore. Essentially, we're being told if we were to not go with our current provider for a year, there would be a slim to none chance of getting them back in the future. They'll honor contracts, but if you go away for whatever reason, they're not gonna bring you back.
How would the cost of the fireworks compare to, say, the cost of a drone show?
That's the thing we don't know yet. Drone shows are becoming more and more popular. They're becoming less expensive, but they're still costly. One of the things we'll have to look at going forward and have discussions on, the big push right now is kind of a hybrid show of drones and fireworks. Kind of the best of both worlds is how they're trying to present it. I don't know. It's hard. We all love fireworks, but we're also aware that they're becoming more and more of a challenge, especially in our climate. Our majority of this, a good chunk of the city is now zoned high extreme hazard zones. We have things we worry about with fires. It's going to become more and more of an issue here in California, I believe so. I don't want to become a big discussion tonight. Just want to make sure you're aware of this. And this will be something we will start on earlier than later next, once we get through July 3rd to establish this so we can start budgeting for the future and what becomes of the event as a whole.
No effect on this fiscal year budget,
This
but
was, yeah,
the next one, it may have an effect on.
it will.
It will. All right, outside that, any questions on recreation expenses? All right, the maintenance 100 fund, that is just very typical stuff. It's just their personnel stuff, fingerprinting, that kind of stuff, the telephone, nothing ever changes. This is just stuff that can't be funded by the maintenance assessment, so nothing we really need to go over on that one. So we'll go to the maintenance assessment page. So this is going to be all of our general fund parks. Just going through it. One of the major highlights is going to be maintenance landscaping. Our contract went up 5%. They go up 5% every year. I don't
Not
not
necessarily.
necessarily, but that is part of the contract is they're allowed to go up 5% every year. So we budgeted the 5% increase across the board on all utilities. What I've done is projected a 5% increase because that's typically what, JCSD, Rubidoux and Edison decide to charge us is about 5% more every single year, just historically. So we always build in a 5% increase, with us doing some of the potential, drought tolerant plant? Yeah, that may save some water costs at some of those parks as well. So that could offset cost as well. We were able to decrease the budget for the arena maintenance and community trials by a lot because we already had done the big project. So back down to our normal budgeted amount, not the 100-something thousand it was before because we had the new arenas installed. That's mainly it for this on that side. We'll go to the next page. Oh, and then Rupa Community Center, their budget on utilities and stuff went up a lot this year because they were closed all of this year. So they're back to their normal operating expenses. So if you see that and you wonder, wait, we only spent $5,000, why we budgeted in 22? Well, they didn't have electricity because the building was being constructed.
We just turned back on.
Yes, we did. All right, rest of the general fund parks, everything is good to go on them. The one thing that has changed is we have the new janitorial services. It actually went down a little bit on how much our cost was on the janitorial services as a whole. So that has been updated now. So it did save us a little bit of money, nothing substantial, it's a couple $1,000s over the course of the year, but the new janitorial service, they will be starting June 1st with us. And they will be our janitorial service moving forward. And then we have, as Colby mentioned before, we have the money budget every year for a new truck, both on this side of it and the CFD side. All right. Any questions on maintenance cost?
So instead of going in depth into the CFDs, the reality is there's really no significant changes in the CFDs at all. If you have any questions, we're more than happy to discuss them with you. The only thing that's gonna impact our CFD budgets is Vernola Family Park, Turnleaf, Esplanade and Serrano Ranch are scheduled to be connected to reclaimed water this year. Vernola will be the first one starting about September, and the other one's kind of falling in line after that. We have been told not to expect significant reductions in our operating costs for the water, but it's going to reduce the watering times that we have. Right now, we can only water from 10 PM at night till 8 AM in the morning. And then if we go back into different drought restrictions, which is probably going to happen, we can only water certain days of the week. On the reclaim, those are all lifted.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
On the senior center custodial supplies and janitorial supplies, are those reimbursed by the city?
Yes.
Everything with the senior center is reimbursed. With the exception of once we hit a certain threshold in revenue, then we have to start subsidizing back, and I believe we've hit that this year. If not, we're really darn close.
Not really.
Okay.
I mean,
Thought we were.
No.
it's profit, not revenue, so no. Because I've calculated staff time, security, so,
Sorry, things reimbursed.
yeah. All right, the only thing I would add on the CFDs is 2016-1 got the new homes over there, drawn above Rock Rose and Bayberry. So their revenue jumped up substantially in tax revenue, and that's just gonna continue to happen with 2016-1. It will be our biggest CFD here pretty soon. Well, until I guess all the homes get built behind Vernola, but it's doing very well. CFDs as a whole have done very, very well. Any questions on anything with the CFDs? All right, now on to the star of the show, Cooper Mountain Discovery Center.
So with that, the caveat here, and I will be very mindful, I don't want to be disrespectful, but the accounting was a challenge in looking at the numbers we received from the Discovery Center. We are confident in the total revenues, we are confident in the total expenditures. There's certain areas because of utility bills and stuff that we're able to obtain. Some of the revenues through a series of unfortunate events with the Discovery Center and their accounting personnel and software that we utilized, there was some corruption of data. Cody got as close to a forensic accountant as he probably could have come to go through and look at these numbers. We just want to add the caveat to this. We understand there's going to be changes. We know there's going to be changes. There's going to be adjustments that are going to have to come through this budget. Different dollar amounts by categories, but we're still fairly confident that the totals as a whole for expenses and revenues are not going to change. And if they do, they're not going to be significant. We know personnel costs, we know utilities. We're pretty confident in overall revenues. If they're a combination of the school field trips, learning expeditions, or gift shop, daily attendance, that's where there was some questioning. And we'll be looking at those and following those closely.
I've tried my best with it, so
Yeah.
there will more than likely be changes, but it should be a very, very good starting point. I put a lot of research and time and effort into it to try to get full breakdowns of everything. I'll just go over some highlights of it. On the revenue side, the biggest revenue source there is going to be their learning expeditions, the school field trips. That's going to be about 50% of their revenue. Another 25% of it is going to be the gift shop sales. There's a lot of sales at that gift shop. One thing with the gift shop sales is that is taxable. So me and Loretta have already looked into it, how we're gonna have to do it. We will be setting up a quote unquote tax payable account. This is not a budgeted item. It's gonna be essentially a liability account, a holding account. So when we collect the sales tax through the sales at the gift shop, that money will be separated into that account. When the state goes, hey, you owe us $5,000 in sales tax, there's $5,000 right there. So just an in and out account will not be budgeted, but that has already been thought of. Also with how this facility is being run, it's a 600 fund. So this is now an enterprise fund because it is a business-like activity. So it's a little bit different. I don't want to go down a huge rabbit hole with it than normal governmental funding. that's nothing that's gonna cause any issue. So it's just set up as an enterprise fund. And then one thing that I really hope that we're able to do is I've only budgeted $10,000 in grants because I think that's about what you guys had last year, somewhere around there, based off the financials. We're really hoping with our grant writer, we get a lot of grants going into this place. I'm hoping to add another zero when all said and done. But we got to see what our grant writer is able to do and what we could do. We have a lot of high hopes that we're able, even if it's $5,000 here, $10,000 here, we think we get a lot of things going with all of learning expeditions, learning opportunities there with grants. That's
Yeah, and when in our meetings with the grant writer so far, yeah, we love the big $1 million grants and stuff that we're looking at for park construction, but she was really excited. I love these smaller grants for, you know, people tend to just kind of blow over them. So she's really confident that talking about stuff with the senior center, with the Discovery Center, with grant opportunities for our recreation classes, you know, focusing on childhood obesity and stuff like that, that we have great opportunities for a lot of these smaller $5, $10, $15, $20,000 grants. So that's something we're going to be focusing on as well.
those will add up quick. So that's what we're hoping for. We're not expecting $1 million grant coming for the Discovery Center, but if we get 5 that are 10 to 20,000, that would be phenomenal for there.
Question?
Yes.
Because it crossed my mind yesterday when we met in the budget committee, but I guess I've had more time to think of it. We don't indicate there's any interest income for the Discovery Center.
Correct.
But they do get a majority of their income in one part of the year. It's not evenly distributed across the year. So wouldn't that still earn interest?
The interest income is what is in the bank. Is what is the funds that are sitting in their fund. Like AB 1600 has their. So the first couple of years, I don't anticipate there being a lot of cash flow because we're going to be subsidizing it quite a bit. So we will then, in the next, probably the third year down, we should be able to see some revenue because I don't think we're going to be running a positive balance.
Oh, okay.
Very often.
The reality is their funding, when you really looked at it, is not much different than the district's funding and, you know, for our general fund or our CFDs. We don't get our first tax allocation until January.
Mhm.
In reality, that's when the Discovery Center starts getting busy. We get our second tax allocation. We haven't received it yet. It starts coming in it starts trickling in right now. We get majority by the end of the month. And the same thing with Discovery Center. That's as they're hitting the end of their peak season. It's all that money that carries over into the next year. So until we get that
They
cash flow.
could in theory still get interest income. It's just something that we don't want to budget an amount and it be off. If we get interest income, amazing. If we don't get interest income, we didn't budget it anyways. But so it still technically could be there. That's why we've included it, but we don't want to budget anything for the potential of it not being there, just depending on how the first year goes.
Can we revisit this?
I think one of the things we've talked about is this will probably be something that's part of more of a quarterly update.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at. Okay.
We will definitely revisit this one a handful of times as we go throughout the year to see where exactly we're at. We know the first probably 3 or 4 months will be rough just because summertime, hot, you guys typically don't get business around that time from July, August until school starts later.
We'll get a little bit, we'll be collecting checks from our schools into August.
Okay.
So the schools, if they come on the PO, they get net 30. However, sometimes net 30 to them means net 120. So, you know, we'll get the money, it'll all come in, but we'll start to see that dribble in through July and pretty much everything is in by August.
Okay, perfect.
Then we're into the next school year. We're saying, hey, you can pay us if you want to come back.
Right. All right. So any questions on the revenue side of Discovery Center? All right. So on to the expenses. So this first page is going to be kind of like, I don't want to say our recreation type expenses, but for better, lack of anything better, it's going to be almost like quote unquote recreation type expenses when it comes to telephone, liability insurance, office supplies, alarm searches, kind of the stuff that we have in the admin and recreation side of expenses will be the first page. So one thing that I was happy to find out is all their staff is already CPR trained and certified, so we don't have to do any extra funding of that because they've already all completed that. We have budgeted a little bit extra this year for clothing supplies because they will need new clothing supplies and everything like that as they come on and join our team. outside that, most of this stuff is costs that we already know about from their financials, how much, their internet cost or how much their internet will cost, phone services, stuff like that. We have security guard services there for when they have their rentals. We're hoping to do quite a bit of rentals there, especially kids' birthday parties and stuff like that. Really try to advertise that. Gift shop supplies is one of the bigger expenses. I know that number sounds high, the 50,000. That is their cost of goods. Last year, I believe it was about 43,000. So I just rounded it up to 50 just because I know stuff goes up in prices every single year. We'll keep it at 50. If it's less than that, amazing. But we'll revisit a lot of these numbers as well. And then also we've added that they have their nursery supplies, then there's their critter corner for both supplies, which would include enclosures, lighting, that kind of stuff, and then also their food to have those as separate items altogether. And then their veterinarian costs as well. That's something we're going to need to include in there as well. So they have a couple unique costs to them that we went and created new GL codes for. Yes.
Membership dues?
That
What does that entail?
was
Revenue or expenses.
expenses.
So this is memberships to museum associations, Chamber of Commerce, things along those lines, correct, Wes? Yes.
Yes, Dan.
Alarm services, $1,500. I assume that's the ongoing cost of having an alarm. Where in the expense is the cost of installing?
They're
Oh, they already
installed.
They're already installed.
Yes.
Okay, I thought
Every building has an alarm on it, correct?
it's the,
Five buildings that are alarmed, there are smaller outbuildings that are not alarmed.
Right.
so what you were looking at the other day was not alarms, but was camera.
Yes, correct. I've got our camera.
Is that
Yes,
reflected in here?
that is not reflected in here, no. We don't, that's part of what we have to be working on long.
Have you already figured in the expenses that we know are going to decrease just by becoming part of our, is that already figured into this, like the phone services?
To an extent, yes. Some of the things I know that we get cheaper rates on, I've already implemented those. Because I know there are some services that we get slightly cheaper. A lot of those are going to be more so on the maintenance side of things than the quote unquote admin side of things. But yes, that has been thought about and been added to here already. And a lot
So
of
it sort of reflects
Yeah.
as much as you can.
as much as I could reasonably come to terms with. And then some things that they would contract out before, since we will have a full-time maintenance person there. Those costs have gone down significantly because we don't have to pay an outside contractor. We have a maintenance person on site that will do some of those things now.
What's the rent and lease expense?
Copy machines. Yes,
Copies, those types of copiers, printers.
copies, printers, scanners, which every facility has at this point, but they already have a contract in place with one that's actually a pretty darn good contract. So we're keeping that in place till I think they still have a year or two left on their contracts, what we saw.
Something like that.
Yes. Really?
Maybe 3 years.
Maybe, okay. And their rate is actually very good. It's perfectly fine. We don't need to change anything in that. We actually want to keep that rate that they have right now.
We'll transfer over to the district's phone system, retaining all the existing numbers and stuff like that. There'll be slight reductions there. The reality is it's AT&T to AT, we use an AT&T product. We'll see some savings.
Nothing of substantial.
Just, you guys understand that when they sucker you in, come to this new product, you save hundreds and hundreds. You get your actual bill, you save $12. It's the same concept.
Exactly.
8,000 is a lot for a telephone service.
That's internet. Telephone.
At telephone.
Telephone is telephone.
Specify that with internet.
And then on to the backside, this is going to be the quote unquote maintenance cost here. So a lot of these utilities, we were able to get a very good estimate based off of just what their utilities have been. So one good thing, like their current exterminator is actually who we use. It's Phil from Prime. We already use him. So we already have a rapport with him. So a lot of this stuff is going to be just people we already use for a lot of these things. This one's going to be the hardest one though, when it comes to a lot of these are my best guess numbers. I was able to take some of their costs on some of the things they have. A lot of the things were contracted out. A lot of these things our own maintenance staff could do. This will fluctuate a lot. That's why a lot of them are just nice, even $5,000, $6,000 numbers, because that's going to be the closest I could get without us physically starting this and getting actual numbers throughout the year. Any questions on, yes?
2 plumbing services?
One is plumbing services, one is plumbing supplies. So plumbing services is when,
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, you're good, you're good. So yeah, it's just the difference of we have to get a physical plumber out there to do it compared to, hey, can you go get some PVC pipe to fix the toilet or sink, whatever, maybe. That's the only difference there. Same thing with, I think we have electrical maintenance and electrical supplies. It's one of those little things. There's some things our maintenance guys could fix and some things we have to contract out for.
And just point out the top half of the second line item, the $100,000. That's what we're talking about towards. We have it just under other maintenance right now. That's just the general site cleanup that we're looking at. We don't know what exactly it's gonna be. Some of it's maybe electrical, some of it's just gonna be straight refuge, some of it may be plumbing, some of it may be repair work. So it's just kind of a lump sum for right now.
They count 5350.
Yeah, 5350.
Any,
Probably just be an initial expense, not an ongoing expense, hopefully.
That's our hope. That's the hope. You know, we all understand that this is long-term, that there's a long-term commitment to this. They currently utilize CAL FIRE for a lot of their weed abatement. We plan to still use CAL FIRE as much as possible. It's obviously based on their availability. You know, the staff report we put together for the Discovery Center was somewhat joking, somewhat serious. We're looking at goats for some of the weed abatement as well. You know, nothing is off the table when it comes to looking at these things, looking at efficiencies, where it can come down to. So,
And I assume we need to look at, requirements with regards to high fire.
yeah, I was out in the site the other day and me and Wes were walking and talking about those things. Those have not been officially adopted yet, although we all understand this gonna happen. How it relates to the different types of vegetation on site, they're 100-foot adjacent to buildings, what is gonna be acceptable, what is not. Certain plant materials are, certain plant materials are not. That's gonna be a learning curve for a lot of our regular buildings too. Depending on, you know, Cantera Park's gonna fall into there, Quarry Park, Shadow Rock. Those are things we're gonna have to look at as well. So that's gonna be something that we're following closely and watching as we go forward.
Is the tree service through our current landscape company?
No, we have a tree contractor.
Oh,
One of the things we're looking at doing, those, we're gonna be bidding that tree contract as well in this coming fiscal year. We're looking at bidding all of our services. So
we have quite a few bids up in the works right now.
and then, did we go over insuring the artifacts?
that's part of the insurance in there.
Yeah.
That'll be part of the, with Capri and their excess insurance carriers that will have come down and do evaluations and appraisals and documentations and everything. The reality is the way that Capri will add it to our, as a July 1 type of a deal. We really won't get the first bill until the next fiscal year. It's just the way that it works.
And we did up liability insurance quite a bit this year.
Across the board.
Yeah, because we knew last year it hit us with a much steeper impact than we thought it was, so we thought of that again and we upped it quite a bit again. I think we upped it almost $100,000.
We upped the amount in the budget.
In the budget, yes.
The amount.
Yes, how much?
We've not up our, yes, let's, we've not up our insurance,
Yes,
our coverage levels. We don't really have those per se. We anticipate increases in premiums, so we've allotted for that. And when we're all at the conference here in a couple of weeks, I really have a feeling that's gonna be a major point of discussion.
Yeah.
For some of those sessions.
so hopefully the liability insurance is less than we're budgeting, knock on wood, but
But we just experienced the worst natural disaster in
yeah, so who knows?
state's history, so.
Does office supplies include computers? That kind of equipment?
We have computers already, or I think.
They'll be part of the budget, yes.
Yes. And then the office supplies is mainly gonna be just their normal pens, paper, that kind of stuff.
They already have.
Yeah,
Yes.
they have quite a bit of stuff over there though that
We do not need to buy yellow legal pads
Yeah.
again.
Or post-it notes signed 12 pens.
Yeah.
Well,
And we're hoping that we continue to still get a lot of donations and everything to the Discovery Center from the community to help offset costs as well.
So I know that's a lot to digest. The one thing I want to just kind of point out here, first of all, thank you to Cody and Loretta. They've done a phenomenal job putting this stuff together. The Discovery Center staff, we drove them absolutely bat crazy. I know that, asking questions, clarifying. As Director Johnson stated early, we really did do our due diligence. The finances is something we dwelled into very deep for the Discovery Center, but for our budgets as a whole. But if you take our general fund operating budget, you take our CFD combined budgets, and you take in now the new 600 fund for the Discovery Center, we are at $12,080,000 in projected operating budget. That is significant. We are no longer, we should not consider ourselves a small agency by any means. And we need to recognize that.
And good thing we did ClearGov this year instead of next year, because it would have put us in the next group. They would have bumped the rate on us.
Significant.
And we're locked in now.
With that, Cody's available for questions.
Any questions on anything budget related?
And this will still come back again for approval in June.
Yeah, me one more time. Sorry, guys.
All right.
Perfect. And before moving on to the general manager's report, I would like to announce that CRPD, California Association of Recreation and Park Districts, has selected Mr. DeGuid as our 2025 Outstanding General Manager of the Year.
Well deserved.
Yay.
When we go to our conference, he'll be recognized on the 22nd that night.
You'll have to wear a tie.
I have to wear a tie. You are correct. So
Oh, man, so I'm gonna have to wear one too, so
I'm truly honored. But this is an award for the team. I appreciate the support of the board. Without the board's vision and support, the staff, this is truly a recognition for the entire district, and I'm very humbled by it, and I appreciate everybody's support. I come with some crazy ideas. You guys tolerate them. The board and the staff looks at me but they make it happen. We are really working very well together. We had a phenomenal staff meeting today. What is being accomplished at this district right now is truly something that everybody should be impressed with. And I thank everybody.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
congratulations. Yeah.
With that, just a couple things I wanted to share with everybody. I have a couple pictures. We've got a lot of stuff going on. I want silly Mr. Lazer's thunder because he's out there more than I do. But got a couple pictures for you. Heck. New computer, what the heck?
Great, thanks, Boyd.
Well, the Veterans Memorial Wall is coming along nicely, and the contractors assured me it'll be done on Wednesday. They'll be back Thursday to do a final cleanup of the site and ready for our our Memorial Wall ceremony on the 17th. We're really excited for it. It looks phenomenal. Myself, Debbie Patterson, met out there yesterday. You can see here the wall, the plaques are going up. I don't think they're all up. I think there's one or two left to go up still.
I think the ones in the black, on the darker portion are the ones that I saw today that were not.
Yeah. It looks great. I've been out there with Debbie, David Barnes, Steve Mackey from the VFW, and a newer member of theirs, Tom Rambo with a B. I think they almost came to tears. They were very, very thankful. They were so impressed with the facility, so pleased and happy that the board has done this. They're just remarkable what the improvement's going to be to the facility. It truly does look good. So we're really excited for the 17th. with that, this is a picture from like 5 o'clock this morning because I was awake early. This is the Harupa Community Center. Why is this so stinking slow? All the lighting is up and the community center was never that bright during the day before the renovation. The signage still has to come in, but it's well lit up. It's really gonna be a focal point of the corner here, and we're really excited for it. I know you've all, I think for the most had an opportunity to tour it. We can get you guys in there. They're starting cleanup of the building at this point. Cleaners were in there the last couple of days. And amazingly, fingers crossed, Cody's gonna have to deal with getting the fiber optic installed in the building while we're at the conference. AT&T has absolutely drove us crazy on this. They literally showed up here to install the fiber optic, what, 2 months ago?
Yes,
We're like, what are we doing here? You're supposed to be over there. No, look, it's right here. No, that's the billing address, guys. They had to start all over. It was frustrating beyond belief. So it's gonna get done here. We're really happy. And then as we talked about the turf reduction project going on at Veterans Memorial Park. Plant material started going in the last couple of days here along Wineville, and they're working their way up to Belgrave and Back Ranch to Patch Ranch Road. So this is one of the rock pathways we talked about there. Yeah, I don't like the post laying there like it is, but these are the pictures we got, and the plant material starting to go in. They'll be coming back and falling in with the mulch and stuff as well. So it's gonna be a nice curb appeal to that park. We're really excited for this project as well. And again, this is a $250,000 project to the district. All said and done, it's gonna cost us $50,000. So
Nice.
it'll be a phenomenal project when we're completed. So with that, I will cut it short this evening.
Moving on to board comments. Ms. Rivas.
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate Kobe. Thank you for your hard work. It shows and it's paid off. I'm just very excited for the memorial wall. I love the colors at the end of the wing. Looks like an aircraft. It just looks amazing. And, I attended the prayer this week. Or was it this week? Last week? Last week. I was a little bit bummed that they didn't mention me, but it's okay. No hard feelings. But I enjoyed it, and that's about it. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Layden.
Yeah, Diane and I went by the Memorial Park today, and I will tell you, they had all the flagpoles up. And that place went from a construction site to just something to behold. Where you drive down the street and you see these flagpoles, when they have the flags on and everything is done, it's gonna be magnificent. I don't have another word for it. Just that addition to it, all the flagpoles is just amazing. What a transition that area is. I'm so looking forward to that. And the colors on their tips are the colors of the Air Force Thunderbirds. That was an F-16 going in vertical flight. So as an Air Force veteran, I'm thrilled that we went with that option. I also went to the prayer breakfast. It was great. And don't worry, I gave their people some words about not including you. in it.
Thank you.
I swear your name was given.
They swear it wasn't, but you know.
Okay, Kobe.
Were
I
you-
take that back.
Were you on the roster?
Yes, I was.
You were.
Yes, I was on the
And
list.
don't worry, it was definitely discussed afterwards.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming out, Miss Stevie.
And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the ceremony on the 17th. I also discussed it with David Barnes and some of the people there. And yeah, they are thrilled with what we're doing over there. That's it for now.
All right, thank you. Mr. Costello.
Yeah, I think for me, this is a really exciting time for the district, given a lot of the projects you've highlighted. And for me, I think a very historic agreement with JMDC. This is that for me, echoing some Mr. Godinez's earlier comments, right? I also running for Patriot High School, right? Competed in that course. I'm sure we competed in the same.
I really think we need a showdown, a battle of the board members.
Yeah, we got our 5K up there.
Yeah, so to me, it's a very personal.
The 80s were good.
It's a very personal investment. I think that that we're making here, and I'm really glad to see that there's that the future is looking bright for the center. So thank you all for helping in your cooperation with this and helping making it happen. Also to staff. Staff was also very crucial in making sure that everything was done well and done right. And in regards, and also looking forward to the Veterans Memorial Wall, it's looking great. The planning for it, I think going from last year, our conversations to now, I think it's very laser focused, right? So I'm glad that it's coming in on time as well. Excited for GCC and congratulations again on you for being named by honors from CARPD. Very well deserved, and it's coming at a good time. So really excited for the district. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the district and the audience and
Thank
to everyone in the community. And that's it.
Thank you. Ms. Johnson?
Yes, like I mentioned, I was at Clay Park today and the new basketball court just looks great. Bright blue, boy, oh boy. Yeah, so it's real nice to see, big projects and small projects getting done here in the district. I can't wait for the memorial wall. I was at the VFW on Friday night and David Barnes mentioned that he's done a tour of the veterans memorials throughout the Inland Empire and how we're going to be right at the top because of the way ours looks. And this has been a dream. It was always a great idea, but the reality was where it was, how it was done. It was so isolated from the public. No one could see it. It had become a place where homeless people built their fires. It had just become a real problem. And that wasn't respectful to our veterans and community volunteers like it should have been. And so now we're going to have a veterans memorial wall that reflects everything it was always supposed to be and now the way it should be. And I tell you, it brings a little tear to my eye too, because I know so many of those people are on that wall. So many of those people, including my own father. So it's very exciting for me to see it be even better support. Other than that, we are all started participating in some videos. And the exciting thing about that is there's literally a fantastic project going on, being built even as we speak in every one of our districts. And that just goes to show you how much we're getting done in this district and how much staff is doing. And I did mine on Monday. Woo-wee. Hope it turned out okay. Anyway, that was me. That is all I have to say.
Thank you.
Oh, and congratulations to Mr. DeWitt. Well deserved.
And as for me, congratulations, Mr. DeWitt. I'm excited for the memorial wall. I'm excited to, for me, it'll be an honor to be president and to be able to. Sorry, I'm not a good public speaker, as you can tell, so I'm already getting nervous. Being able to introduce everybody and address the crowd at that time. But I'm excited for that. I'm excited for JCC. I'm excited to have JMDC on board with us. And as Ms. Johnson said, I think we're firing on all cylinders and let's enjoy the momentum and it all comes down to working together and having a great vision and being able to make the right decisions. That's the key part, right? Working together. And that's something that my mentor says quite often, that no one does anything by themselves, right? So with that, I'll close my statement. And we'll move on to committee reports. Budget and Personnel Committee, anything to report?
So we kind of already talked about everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Any future committee meetings?
Not right now.
Nope. Any agenda items for future board meetings? Nope. Okay. All right, and then upcoming meetings, we will not have a meeting on May 23rd. We'll be at CRPD. And our next meeting after that will be June 12th. And with that, I will close.
Do we want to have the signing?
We need to recess to, we have a closed session. We want to take a break.
Yes. Do we want to sign as well?
We can.
Before closing, before recessing?
Sure.
Do you guys want me present for the
Do you
closed
want
session?
to come up here? We'll sign it over here.
You already signed it, I think.
Yeah, our side signed. We're good.
You want to make sure it dry.
Do you want me
No,
present
some
for the
of
closed
the-
session
Yeah,
or no?
Recess.
Can you hear me? Huh.
Where do you want to do this?
Right here.
Right there. Two copies, one for each of us.
Yeah.
We don't have Miguel here. These are.
Actually, if you get the board up here, we'll get a big picture.
A group picture would be nice.
Yeah, because very. Aren't you too?
Yeah.
You guys can just stand, I guess stand here and I can get the flags back. So we're gonna come around to this side.
Long time.
So do I stand?
She said.
Come up here in the front, you'll get it.
I was just a new boss for her.
Sure.
I mean, it should be just.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Come up here, guys. All right, you're part of this.
You're taking the picture.
I have a feeling we can convince one of our audience members to take it.
The
for
last
us.
meeting.
Wes, I'm gonna tell you, you're the Zach.
Mark, will you take the picture? Diana?
Behind you, you don't mind it. Those are those awards, I'm glad we got double doors.
Well, in front here.
Jeez. I got you the crown.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more.
We say Eddie.
That's a good one.
Okay, wait, let me go one more thing. Put it on the cap.
Well, it goes into their budget now.
That's what I said. Put it on the tab, it's okay.
Yeah, on the numbers then.
Everybody. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Great.
We can take a break.
Yeah, we take a break.
Everything, but this picture.
It's gonna be.
I'll see you right first.
Okay, and expected. Yes, thank you, thank you.
You good? Call us in recess or? Looking forward to it, Wes.
I'm very.
Well,
And-
I don't think I am very excited.
You got this.
You need to talk it all, or we have a short closed session.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much. Oh, hey, thank you, man. Thank you, George. Hey, pleasure again.
Great.
Pleasure as always.
Great, always. Glad this is all happening.
Me too. Absolutely.
Yeah, so.
So, sorry, that's something, I didn't know, I guess you're not gonna be doing
Could be, but. Should.
Well,
It
was as you.
that one, see what you think of it.
was actually better than I expected. I was expecting.
Quick closed session.
We're doing.
District, it's too hard to find any full documentation, so.
No, you don't need to play stand for closed session, I'm sorry.
No, I know what you're.
Thank you, everyone.
I haven't read it.
Appreciate it. Did I say that?
Because I don't know if you want me to say.
Yeah, okay,
Just
perfect. Give me that
That's
best.
your show.
Thank you.
You get to do it. I
yeah,
just wanted to show you what I wrote.
I do wanna mention.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, I don't think we need to
Have
be
you
there. I'm going to be the bell ringer, so,
Right on.
yeah, I'll be participating in the ceremony.
You need to stick with strap.
But-
Yeah.
I don't, you know,
Okay.
I don't want to step on toes, man. But you're the president, so this is your. I remember I was fortunate enough to be able to open Skyview. So it is an honor to be able to do so. So this is your honor. This is your thing. So take it over. And The only thing I thought would be cool to do some history, but there really isn't a lot of history to talk. I mean, that David Barnes probably won't talk about.